with another chapter of A Treasure Discovery by LizzeXX. We are on chapter 13, which is the start of the Dr. Dances episode. So, if you want to follow along, chapter links to both Fanfic and Archive are in the description below for you to pick and choose which one you want to follow along to. So, let's get started. Chapter 13, The Doctor Dances. Go to your room. The doctor moved to stand before the gas mask people, narrowing his eyes. Go to your room, he commanded, as though at a disobeying child. The patient stopped. Jamie hesitated. Go to your room, the doctor repeated, as the patients tilted their head to the side. Jamie tilted his head to the side. I mean it, the doctor shouted. I am very, very angry with you. I'm very, very cross. Go to your room. He pointed sternly in no particular direction, and miraculously all the patients turned away and shuffled off, back to their beds. Jamie looked down and turned to shuffle out of the room. The doctor grinned. I'm really glad that worked. Angel nodded. Those would have been the worst last words in history. He laughed a bit at that. Nancy watched from the window as Jamie walked alone through the dark night. Jamie, she breathed, sinking to the ground with her back against the wall as she sobbed. Rose sat by one of the beds looking at the gas mask people while Jack settled down on a chair. Why are they wearing gas masks? Rose asked. They're not, Jack replied. Those masks are flesh and bone. How was your con supposed to work? The doctor turned to him from where he was leaning against the wall with Angel standing beside him, looking out the window at the building outside with a frown. Simple enough, really. Find some harmless piece of space junk, let the nearest time agent track it back to Earth, cut it to its valuable, name a price. When he's put 50% up front, oops, a German bomb falls on it, destroys it forever. Never gets to see what he's paid for, never know he's been had. I buy him a drink with his own money, and we discuss dumb luck. The perfect self-cleaning con. Yeah, the doctor remarked sarcastically. Perfect. Golden Blitz is great for self-cleaners. Not pays nice if you want to make a vacation of it, though. But you've got to set your alarm for Volcano Day. He laughed at his little quip, but the doctor just looked at him, unimpressed. His laughter faded away. Getting a hint of disapproval. Take a look around the room, the doctor gestured. This is what your harmless piece of space junk did. It was a burnt-out medical transporter. It was empty. Are you sure? Angel asked, turning around to face Jack, and the doctor looked at the man darkly. There was nothing in it. Nothing that you saw. No! The doctor seemed to realize that she hadn't been asking a question, but implying something else entirely. But there was something in there that couldn't be seen with the naked eye. Perhaps a virus or something that had escaped. He took her hand and led her off, calling Rose over his shoulder. We getting out of here? Rose asked. We're going upstairs, Angel corrected. Rose got up and followed after them, Jack getting up as well. I even programmed the flight computer so it wouldn't land on anything living, he added. I harmed no one. I don't know what's happening here, but believe me, I had nothing to do with it. I'll tell you what's happening, the doctor turned to face him. You've got to set your alarm clock. It's Volcano Day. A siren sounded outside. What's that? Rose looked over. You're all clear, Jack answered. I wish, the doctor muttered, before leaving the ward with Angel, Jack and Rose following after them. Nancy looked up at the sounds of the sirens as she got up to leave the dining room. She just stepped into the hallway when a gas mask child jumped out in front of her. She screamed and stumbled back when the boy took off his mask. I thought you were Jamie, she gasped, turning to leave the house through the back door, the boy following her. Dad, he shouted. Dad! The boy's parents suddenly appeared. The father grabbing Nancy's arm and shoving her back into the house. Get your hands off me, she cried. Oi! The boy's mother turned to him. You! Get in! Get in! Rose and Jack dashed down a hall, looking for the doctor. Mr. Spock! Jack yelled. Miss Kirk! Doctor! Rose shouted. Angel! They rushed past a flight of stairs when the doctor and Angel's heads popped around the banister up one floor. Have you got a blaster? The doctor asked loudly. The duo skid to a halt and backtracked. Sure, Jack shouted as they ran up the stairs, only to find themselves standing out before a door. When the ambulance hit London, a little boy was hurt. Angel explained to the man. This is his room. What happened? Rose frowned. Let's find out. The doctor turned to Jack. Get open. Jack grinned and pointed his blaster at the door. The doctor, Angel, and Rose standing back. What's wrong with your sonic screwdriver? Rose asked the doctor quietly. Nothing, the doctor replied, watching as Jack's blaster made a square hole where the lock was, opening the door with a squeak. Sonic blaster, 51st century? Weapon factories of Guard? You've been to the factories? Jack looked up, surprised. The doctor just took the blaster from him for a quick look. Once. Well, they're gone now, destroyed. The main reactor went critical, vaporized a lot. The doctor handed it back. Like I said, once. There's a banana grove there now. I like bananas. Bananas are good. I've never had a banana before, Angel commented offhandedly. They were not a fruit indigenous to Gallifrey. Not that she would really eat all that much to begin with. You got sort of timeless in a TARDIS. She gets so lost in her work, so focused on getting her TARDIS fixed, that she'd lose all sense of time. Not even realize she'd gone quite a while without eating a proper meal. More often than not, her sister would have to find her and drag her out, some TARDIS or another for dinner. That was one fond memory of hers. Before her sister had left, they always had dinners together, the two of them and their father. The doctor turned to her with a grin. I'll get you one when this is over, he said as they turned to walk into the room. They're really amazing fruits. What do you do with them? There's bananas, ice cream, they got bananas, dairies. Dairies? Cute? I don't know how to say that. Anyway, Rose shook her head as the doctor explained all the brilliant uses for bananas to Angel as they walked in before looking at the perfectly square hole the blaster had made. Nice mouse pattern. Digital, Jack shrugged. Squareness gun? Yeah. I like it, she commented, while heading into the room as well. Jack laughed and followed her. The doctor flipped on a light to reveal the room through a glass which looked torn apart. The window was shattered and there was a mess of papers and toys all over the floor. It was almost destroyed. What do you think? The doctor asked no one in particular. Hazel shuddered, just the feel of the room overwhelming her. She looked over at a small recorder on a desk just before the main room and walked over to it, gently placing her hands on it as she looked down. Something got out of here, Jack commented. Yeah, the doctor agreed. And something powerful. Angry. Powerful and angry. Jack moved into the main room, stepping past the observation window and into the actual room where the floors and walls were covered with the child's drawing. A few toys here and there, with a little bed in the corner. You said it was a little boy. He glanced back at Angel, who was looking it down. I suppose this explains Mummy. How could a child do this? Rose asked. Angel hit a switch, turning on the tape recorder. Do you know where you are? Dr. Constantine's voice began to play. Are you my mummy? The child spoke. Are you aware of what's around you? Can you see? Are you my mummy? What do you want? Do you know? I want my mummy. Are you my mummy? I want my mummy. Are you my mummy? They looked up at the drawings on the wall, every single one of the child's mother, a woman with brown hair. Are you my mummy? 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 I've heard this voice before, Rose remarked. Us too, the doctor nodded, standing beside Angel looking at the tape. Mummy? Always, are you my mummy? Rose added, like he doesn't know. Mummy? Why doesn't he know? Are you there, Mummy? Mummy? Angel closed her eyes, her heart clenching in pain. Children crying out, scared. So many terrible memories from the war. It wasn't just parents screaming for their lost children, but children so young crying for their lost parents. So many had been orphaned, so many lost. She looked over, her eyes opening, when she felt someone take her hand. The doctor. He turned her hand gently, placing their fingers together as he squeezed her hand. He was rubbing the same. Nancy sat in the dining room as the father entered, shutting the door behind him, leaning on the table to look at her. The police are on their way, he informed her. I pay for the food on this table. The sweat on my brow, that food is. The sweat on my brow. Anything else you like? I've got a whole house here. Anything else you'd like to help yourself to? Yeah, she looked up at him. I'd like some wire cutters, please. He looked unpleasantly surprised at her request. something like cut through barbed wire. Oh, and a torch. Don't look like that, Mr. Lloyd. I know you've got plenty of tools in here. I've been watching this house for ages, and I can have a look around your kitchen cupboards. I was in a hurry the first time. I want to see if there's anything I missed. The food on this table is an awful lot of food, isn't it, Mr. Lloyd? She looked at him as his mouth fell open and snapped shut. A lot more than on anyone else's table. Half this street thinks your missus must be messing about with Mr. Aberstock, the butcher. But she's not, is she? You are. He looked very uncomfortable, starting to sweat as Nancy stood up. Wire cutters, torch, food. And I'd like to use your bathroom before I leave, please. Oh, look. There's the sweat on your brow. He agitatedly wiped the sweat off his forehead with the back of his hand as Nancy smirked and walked over to the door, stepping out. Mommy, the recording continued. Please, Mommy. Mommy. Rose and Jack watched, concerned, as the doctor now paced around inside the child's bedroom. Doctor? Rose eyed him. Can you sense it? He looked at them, breathing heavily. Sense what? Jack frowned. Coming out of the walls. Can you feel it? Mommy. Yes. Angel's voice cracked as she whispered. They looked over to see her standing by the recording as she had been since they arrived in the room. Her eyes closed once more. He's so sad. And he's so afraid. So terribly afraid. The doctor nodded, turning his gaze to Rose and Jack. Don't know human brains. How do you get around in those things? When he's stressed, he likes to assault species, Rose told Jack with a roll of her eyes. The doctor just resumed pacing. Rose, I'm thinking. Cuts himself shaving and does half an hour in life forms. He's cleverer then. There are these children living rough around the bomb site. They come out during air raids looking for food. Mommy, please. Suppose they were there when this thing, whatever it was, landed. The doctor looked over at Angel, feeling she would be the best person to discuss thoughts with. She could easily keep up. She claimed during their late-night talks with Gallifrey that she was just an average student, knew the basics, did better in history and space-time than science or alien cultures, or any other subject offered at the academy. But he knew that in her intuitiveness, her sensations and thoughts on certain things were more than enough to make her extraordinarily fantastic in his eyes. It was a med ship, Jack explained again. It was harmless. Yes, you keep saying, the doctor turned to him, harmless. Suppose one of them was affected, altered. Altered how? Rose frowned. I'm here, the child shouted. Angel looked down, her eyes widening at the sight of the tape ending. It's afraid, the doctor continued. Angel was right. It's terribly afraid and powerful. It doesn't know it yet, but it will do. He laughed, looking over at Angel, seeing the same realization in her eyes as in his mind. It's got the power of God, and I just sent it to its room. There was a loud crackling noise filling the room now. Doctor? Rose breathed, scared. I'm here, the child said. Can't you see me? What's that noise? Rose asked, hearing clicking. The doctor's smile faded. The tape ended, Angel said. About 30 seconds ago. I'm here now. Can't you see me? I sent it to its room, the doctor reminded them. This is its room. Angel turned quickly to see the child in the doorway. She moved back into the room with the doctor, Rose, and Jack as the child advanced. The doctor reached out, taking her hand, pulling her the rest of the way. Are you my mummy? The child asked, tilting his head, considering Rose. Mummy. Doctor? Rose looked at him, tensing. Okay, Jack said calmly, moving forward. On my signal, make for the door. Now! He whipped a banana out of his coat pocket and pointed it at the child like it was his blaster. The doctor laughed behind him, holding up the sonic blaster before turning and using it on the wall, making a large square hole. Go, he shouted. Now, don't drop the banana. Why not? Jack called, making his way through the hole after the girls. Good source of potassium, the doctor replied as they found themselves in a hallway, the child walking towards them from inside the room. Jack ran forward and grabbed the sonic blaster back. Give me that. Are you my mummy? The child called. Jack pointed the blaster at the wall, reversing the damage, replacing the square, stopping the child. Digital rewind. He tossed the banana back to the doctor. I switch. It's from the groves of Vinlandard, the doctor remarked. I thought it was appropriate. There's really a banana grove in the heart of Vinlandard, and you did that? Oh, so good, he said simply, before tossing it to Angel. Here. She caught it. Why want to save it for later, though? The child started to hit the wall from the other side, cracks forming in it as a result. Doctor! Rose pointed. Go on, the doctor shouted, leading them down the hallway, down a short flight of stairs, and to another corridor, only to see patients bursting out of the wall, wanting their mummy. They hastily turned around, rushing back, finding more patients coming from that direction as well. They ended up right back at the wall, the child breaking through it. It's keeping us here so it can get at us. Jack pointed the blaster in each direction for a moment. Controlling them? It is them. Angel replied, it's every little thing in this hospital. Okay, this can function as a sonic blaster, a sonic cannon, and a triple unfolded sonic disruptor. Doc, Angie, what do you got? I have a banana. Angel held it up, ready to help. Okay? Jack nodded. No help there. Doctor? The doctor grabbed the sonic from his pocket as he had his back to Jack. It's like, oh, never mind. What? The doctor just turned to face the second group closing in on them, switching the sonic on. It's Sonic, okay? Let's leave it at that. Disruptor? Cannon? What? It's Sonic. Totally Sonic. I am Sonic now. A Sonic what? Screwdriver! Jack turned to him as the child finally managed to punch through the wall and climb through the hole he made. Rose grabbed onto Jack's wrist, making him point the Sonic down at the floor. Going down! She cried, blasting a hole in the floor. They fell down in a messy heap on the floor of the ward below. Jack scrambled to his feet and blasted the ceiling again, racing the hole. Doctor, are you okay? Could have used a warning, he muttered. Ugh, the gratitude. She rolled her eyes before looking over. Angel, how about you? Angel scrunched her eyes closed in pain. Not so much. The doctor quickly knelt by her side, scanning the ankle she was gripping quickly with the sonic. Twisted, he muttered, checking the results as Jack looked over. That's a sonic screwdriver, Jack remarked. I do, the doctor shouted, before turning gently to Angel, his entire demeanor shifting from annoyed with Jack to concerned for her in a split second. Can you stand? I don't know, she murmured, standing up a bit with the doctor's help. She tried to put some weight on her right foot, only to pull it back up with a little wince and a hiss of pain. The doctor quickly wrapped his arm around her waist, supporting her. Light, Rose shouted, looking around trying to find a switch to help the doctor see better. Who looks at a screwdriver and thinks, oh, this could be a little more sonic? Jack continued. What, you never been bored? The doctor looked at Jack, indignantly. Ignorant. It's got to be a light switch, Rose muttered. They've had a long night. They've had a lot of cabinets put up. Rose finally found a light switch and got the lights on, only for all the patients lying in their bed to sit up and start calling glummy. Door, Jack nodded as they ran for the door, the doctor helping Angel limp along as the patients got up. Damn it! Jack shouted as he tried to blast the locked door, only for the blaster to stop working. He moved back as the doctor handed Angel off to Rose and went to unlock the door with his sonic screwdriver, whacking the side of his blaster, annoyed. It's the special features. They really drain the battery. The battery? Rose scoffed. The doctor managed to get the door open, taking Angel back as they hurried through. That's so lame. The doctor and Angel led them to a random door, ushering them in before shutting the door behind them, locking them in with the sonic and flashing the rest of the door to strengthen it. I was going to send for another one, but somebody's going to blow up the factory, Jack commented as he ran to the window before glaring at the doctor. Oh, I know. First day I met him, he blew my job up. That's practically how he communicates. Okay, that door should hold it for a bit, the doctor said, leading Angel, who seemed to be able to put just a bit more weight on her foot, in, settling her gently in a wheelchair off to the side. The door? Jack scoffed. The wall didn't stop it. Well, it's got to find us first. Come on, we're not done yet. Assets, assets. Well, Angel's got a banner. I've got a drink blaster, and in a pinch you could put up some shelves. Window, the doctor remarked, heading to one. Barred, shoe drop outside, Jack informed him, leaning against the wall by Angel. 7 stories. And no other exits. Rose looked around. Well, the assets conversation went in a flash, didn't it? The doctor turned and eyed him for a moment before turning to Rose. So, where'd you pick this one up then? Doctor? Rose warned. She was hanging by it from a barrage balloon. Jack smiled. I had an invisible spaceship. I never stood a chance. Rose looked uncomfortable and embarrassed. Okay, 1. We want to get out of here. The doctor began to think, turning back to the window. 2. We can't get out of here. Have I missed anything? Well, Jack's gone, Adrian called out. The doctor spun around to see Jack had indeed disappeared. He looked at Adrian for an explanation. She could only shrug. Eventually teleport? And that's the end of chapter 13. So, hope you enjoyed. Go leave a like and go leave a kudos and a review and a comment for the author to let them know, because they wrote the story, not me. I'm just reading it, nothing else. So go. We're done here. And oh yeah, be sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday and Saturday. And I'll see you guys next Friday with a new video.